So I couldn't pass this opportunity up. I saw this came across my Google News feed, and with everything going on with the Star Wars fan base right now, which we're going to talk about tomorrow night, so tune in 8:30 Eastern for episode 136 of Monday Night Going in Raw. We're going to talk about some other Star Wars business then, but right now we're on the Nerdist, which I know, right? The Nerdist. The Mandalorian's troubling attitude towards wildlife. This from Melissa T. Miller, dropped a couple days ago, and I just had to talk about this because I think it's so funny. Let's dive a little bit into this article, and along the way I'll give you my thoughts as we see the Wampa here, which is from my favorite movie of all time, The Empire Strikes Back. Let's see what she has to say about the Mandalorian's, quote, troubling, which is another one of those buzzwords like problematic that we just love to hear so much. The Mandalorian is undoubtedly fun, but Baby Yoda and his Guardian's lack of respect for the natural world is disturbing. Star Wars has always used interesting wildlife to set the scene. Think the toad-like wart outside Jabba's palace. It provides a peek into the life of creatures seemingly untouched by the antics of the Galactic Empire or the Skywalker family, though some are not so lucky as to be left in peace. As you can see here, this beginning paragraph starts to set the tone for the article and basically lead into a theme of Star Wars' wanton disregard for the environment, which, of course, even in a galaxy far, far away, we have to think about the environment, because when we want to get into our favorite space opera, you have to think while the warring factions are indeed doing battle, I wonder what the impact on the environment of this planet is after this battle. What will the fallout be for the water supply, the wildlife?
No, don't like that.
The films depict most of its animals respectfully, even those that endanger our heroes. The Wampa is hungry. The abyssal creatures of Naboo are awe-inspiring. The Rathtars are certainly not meant to be on a spaceship. Who knows what the Dianaga is up to in the trash compact, but we assume it serves a purpose. When an animal is killed or maimed to rescue a character, it's clear there was no other choice. See, this paragraph is more of a normal tone. It sets up and shows how the animals and creatures have been treated a little bit. Now the big ones, these are some of the bigger ones that posed a threat to the protagonist, but let's move on and see how this devolves. The Rancor's keeper crying when Luke kills the monster is in stark contrast to Luke's relief after the intense fight. These little details are Star Wars at its storytelling best. Notice the era that these take place in when they say storytelling best. Those few seconds in Return of the Jedi with no explanation or payoff later invests us in the whole universe, not just in one storyline we're following. The no longer canon book, Tales from Jabba's Palace, reveals that the Keeper and his beloved pet had prepared to escape captivity that very day. Now, if you want more information on the Rancor Keeper, or the Rancor monster as it were, I want you to check out a Star Wars fan film that's available here on YouTube. It's called Birth of a Monster. It was recommended to me by a good friend Salvador, and I really enjoyed it throughout its 23-minute runtime, I believe. Excellent fan film, very well done. Care was given and taken with the handling of the pre-existing lore and how the fans decided to tell their story. It was absolutely wonderful. I highly recommend it. So what to make of chapters 9 and 10 in The Mandalorian? Episodes in which our characters come together via the killing of wildlife that's simply minding its own business? Unlike Mando himself, I love the idea of returning to Tatooine in the first episode of Season 2. To see the Krayt Dragon go from bleached skeleton to CG masterpiece and learn that it eats Sarlacc is exciting. Is this how Boba Fett escaped? Krayt Dragon, it was alright. I didn't mind it. It was kind of cool to see. I wasn't really too familiar with it other than hearing it referenced a few times here or there. I never really read any EU books that had anything to do with it, so. But why did the dragon need to die? Because the resilient residents of Mos Pelgo built their town on its habitat? Or because the Tusken Raiders value its pearls? Because we need to see Timothy Olyphant as a cowboy at least one more time? Historic enemies coming together in a shaky alliance for a common purpose makes an inspiring tale, if you ignore that the goal is to slaughter a majestic beast. The second episode of Season 2 plays Grogu's insatiable hunger for laughs, an infuriating plotline, eating the eggs of a character we won't even get into her being called Frog Lady. Desperate to save her bloodline is heartless. Would one so strong with the Force be such a thoughtless troublemaker?
You serious?
Okay, the crate dragon, yes, it had to die so they could maintain their way of life. It was built on its habitat, absolutely. But that's man versus beast. One of them had to go. In this case, it was the crate dragon after the townsfolk and the Tusken Raiders formed an alliance. Yes, the Raiders gleaned something from it. The villagers gleaned something from it. There was an alliance formed between two warring factions. It had to die. I'm sorry. It's a fictional creature. It matters not other than to be a device to advance the plot. So there you go. Stop reading so much into it. It's a fictional universe. And to the frog lady, I would have been happy if Grogu ate every single one of those eggs and she was killed by the space spiders because she was annoying. And there's nothing wrong with calling her frog lady because that's exactly what she was. This writer is completely off the rails insane here. Nothing wrong with caring about the real environment, but fictional environments and fictional creatures, really, I would focus my energy somewhere else other than that, maybe trying to be a more competent writer. On the ice planet, Grogu takes a break from eating those eggs and wanders off to eat other eggs. This time, there are consequences. The ice biters fight back. This rather quickly devolves into the annihilation of their entire population, from newborn to ancient. They didn't need to die, and seeing the Rangers of the New Republic shooting them like womp rats was unpleasant.
Wanna get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts!
Mando's ambivalence is out of character for one seemingly intent on respectful travel. The same episode showcases his ability to communicate with the Tusken Raiders and attempts to find a common language with the Frog Lady. Sure, the characters in The Mandalorian are more anti-heroes than those in the films. It's one of the reasons the show is so compelling, but a disregard for animals is too far past the line to be forgivable. This is absolutely pathetic and it is virtue signaling. I'm sorry, it's nothing else. These are fictional things. Stop it. Stop it. Really? You can care about them, but to the point where you're attacking the show because of its disregard for the environment and creatures in a fictional environment is utterly ridiculous. In Season 1, Mando earned his Mudhorn signet after killing one, again unnecessarily. While the scene is memorable for the introduction of the child's force powers, all I remember is that a mother protecting her egg is murdered when incapacitation wasn't possible. My least favorite moment of the series is the roasting of the monkey lizard, think Salacious Crumb, right in front of another one. We know from Return of the Jedi that the species is sentient. This is a new and disturbing trend, one I hope doesn't become more common in Star Wars. Critters large and small have a rich history in the world building, and not just in the original trilogy. I consider The Last Jedi to be the pin. There it is.
Why are you the way that you are? I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
I consider The Last Jedi to be the pinnacle. There's our problem right there. The best executed explanation of the Force we ever get comes when Luke explains the connectivity of all life to Rey as Rey explores Ahch-To. Holy shit.
You out of your goddamn mind. Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch!
Now imagine a similar scene where a younger Luke takes Grogu to the island for training and has to stop him from eating porg eggs, which you know he'll do. Who cares? I hated the porgs. They were fucking annoying. The Last Jedi was a terrible movie anyway, but the porgs were just the pinnacle of annoying. It is hard to reconcile these moments as being within the same reality. Sure, the porgs are probably delicious, but we need the acknowledgement of empathy, like Chewie's redemption storyline after roasting a few. Ugh, Chewie was right to eat those things. Who cares? I love that The Mandalorian weaves in both new and Legends mythology to teach me about a galaxy I thought I had all figured out. But if we don't properly discuss on-screen depictions of crimes against wildlife, it will lead to complacency in the real world. So this is going to lead to complacency in environmentalism and wildlife protection in the real world.
You serious?
We have serious environmental issues here on Earth, with more than 500 land animals projected to go extinct in the next 20 years, more than all the 20th century. The lack of empathy from the characters, even ones as complicated as those in The Mandalorian, is troublesome. The fans, planet Earth, and the characters themselves deserve better. Fingers crossed for Season 3.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
This is absolutely unhinged, ridiculous garbage. I am so glad that I did this video because this just brings to light the side of Star Wars journalism that aren't Star Wars fans. And it just goes along with the theme of the article and her style of journalism. It's just cringe-inducing nonsense that I think my 5-year-old could do better with a crayon, but anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Season 3 of The Mandalorian should focus more on environmental issues and protection of the wildlife, sentient? Do you? Do you think the sentient wildlife should be protected further on The Mandalorian? No more gross depictions of Grogu. Oh, God, I can't even say this with a straight face. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'm Etepel Kuna, the place to be reviews. I've been here with all the yous. And remember, if I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one.